All right, welcome back to the Mezcal Buzz Experience, where we sit down with interesting people. We taste different agave spirits like mezcales, tequilas, and others. And today we have a very special guest. We have Rafael De Anda Orozco of Cuatro Copas Tequila, and he's joining us today to really fill us in with the deep history that is Cuatro Copas Tequila and have some cool conversation. Welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Excited to have you on.
Let's start with the history and the story of what is Cuatro Copas so our listeners and viewers could get caught up like ourselves and really start the conversation there where we could go beyond
Sure
what that
thing. Well, Cuatro Copas has an amazing history. We were the first certified organic and kosher tequila ever created. We were founded back in 1997 in a small town in the lowlands near the volcano. It's called El Arenal, Jalisco. We were at a distillery called La Quemada, and it was a pioneering distillery. They were thinking of how do we make our niche in the tequila world. So that's where the whole organic movement began. We didn't have the pedigree that a Cascawin or that a Camarena family member would have. So we wanted to figure out a way to stand out. And that's where we called BioAgriCert. They came, certified us, and became the historic spirit that we are today. At the same token, we thought about bringing in a rabbi and having him work with us and certify it kosher as well.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, that 1997, I mean, that's like before the whole like organic movement really took off anyway. Huh?
Absolutely.
It's like very future thinking, yeah.
No, 100%. When we were founded, we did not start being organic. So I just want to make sure we clarify. There's a lot of people that have a deep history and knowledge of Cuatro Copas, and I want to make sure I give an homage to them with that fact as well. We were founded we always made a clean product from 1997 to today. But in around 2006, 2007, that's where we became the first certified organic tequila.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
And that's what pretty much made that introduction, that leap to the U.S. market as well.
Was the product the same from then when you started to being certified for organic, or what does that look like? Was there things that had to happen for that?
Yeah, the quality of the product always maintained a very high level, but I guess the only difference is that now we went through that regulatory agency to prove that we didn't add any pesticides and that we made the tequila in the cleanest way possible.
Gotcha. Awesome.
But from day one, we always strived to be clean and pure and additive-free.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, on that note, we should probably try a little bit of this.
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
This
I
tequila.
agree, absolutely.
So explain what we've got here. We've got the Blanco 40.
Yes, that's the Blanco 40, our current interpretation of it. That's the last batch that our founding master distiller, Sebastian Melendres, ever made. He has unfortunately retired, but he was with us from 1997 through the creation of this batch.
Oh.
Which that's interesting because we were just conversating about how like there's a lot of connections and roots between the industry and people in the tequila world, and that's a unique what should I say, like a history of like who the last person to distill this batch was?
Yes. He worked with us with the transition from La Quemada to Las Americas and the Montes family.
Okay.
So it was great to have his oversight and his involvement there to have that mutual connection. And it won't be the same flavor profile as the founding one because obviously there's different factors that go into the fermentation and what have you. But we try to maintain a uniform character through both batches. He was one of the pioneers in the early Herradura days. He created Selección Suprema, which we consider one of the premier tequilas in the industry, especially prior to its selling. So he was instrumental in who we are.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, it smells really great.
Salud.
Salud, amigos.
Salud. Talk to me about the production process. Are you
Sure.
Yeah.
So obviously for us, my family, we're agaveros from Arandas, Jalisco, in the Highlands. I'm a fourth generation agave grower. My grandfather and his family were the ones that started the agave growing process on my Orozco side. which is something we're very proud of today. He was involved in the growth of Arandas, and especially during the middle of the 80s, and it's influential in its rise today.
Oh, amazing.
So we're quite proud of. We still have the original family ranch.
Awesome.
So it's something special for us. And so for us, our focus has always been the quality of the agave. With what you're drinking now is a minimum of 6 years, and it's actually slightly higher. It's about 6.5 year old agave. So the quality of the agave is very high. We were very instrumental in handpicking the plants that we were with estate grown agave. The Montes at the time had a pristine collection of beautiful agave plants. So we were able to work with them together with our master distiller, and created a special product there.
I think that's a great perspective, and it's cool to hear that agave growing side of the family and side of the process in the industry, because I think a lot of people, when we think of the spirits, yes, everyone thinks of like, oh, it's a long process of growing the agave plant and it has to be selected properly, but it's a huge process. And so it's meaning like it's interesting to know that your family on one side is agave grower family, right? So it doesn't always necessarily mean that agave growers are producers or vice versa. Producers all own and know about growing agave. It's like
absolutely
right?
No. For us, our focus is we're farmers. I don't ever pretend to be a producer. I'll leave that to the camarenas and the hot shots out there, Sergio Cruz of the world, which we have a lot of respect for, especially these days with Iliana Partida and her knowledge. For us, we come from how do we grow the plant effectively, and in our case, the cleanest way possible.
I mean, it shines through. I mean, this is a delicious Blanco.
I get a nice sweet
really
aroma
sweet.
here.
Yeah.
And like it reminds me of like bread, like pan.
Sure.
Like I don't want to say like pan dulce, right? Because it's not like a super sweet aroma, but it is
Like walking into a bakery almost.
kind of.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Those aromas of walking into a fresh panaderia.
Yeah.
It's that natural
The
agave that
yeast
comes
and-
through.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that really natural. Yeah. Yeah, really good.
I like that it's one of those types of balance we were talking about the other day, that it tastes close and similar to what you're getting on the aroma.
Sure.
Sometimes you get those spirits that are like little riddles. It's a little different on it, but it definitely reflected the balance from the aroma to the flavor and taste.
Yeah, we were trying
really
to make it a very approachable spirit, something that won't knock your socks off. I know there's other brands, I guess, want to say a little bit more authentic to the original tequila side. For us, we've always tried to maintain something that is a little bit more approachable to the non-experienced tequila drinker.
Yeah.
So hopefully that you guys detect that as well as you're experiencing.
And so you say this is from the batch that was from Maestro Sebastian?
Correct.
Tequilero, and so is there still any of these available? Will these eventually be lost and found type of thing?
Yeah, these are collector's items these days. These 1480 bottles, I know that that gnome these days has different, I guess, ideas to it. I guess the advantage we had is that we had our own master distiller oversee our whole process. So we're pretty hands-on in creating our own version of that expression. But yes, this is the last batch that version will ever have. There's still bottles on the market. We wanted to make sure we had plenty to go through the transition into where we are today, and we're proudly to say Gnome 1522 with Iliana Partida. And the Partida family has been able to be great friends, and a lot of mutual history between my family and theirs.
Oh, amazing.
Awesome.
Cool.
Cool. With that said, should we grab another one in transition? Can
Sure.
we do that from
Absolutely.
this batch to something else?
Yeah, of course. Let's try
well,
we can try the Reposado if you'd like.
Amazing.
All right. We'll do that and then expand on the conversation.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, we'll be right back with the repo and more with Rafa.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, and this is my most popular tequila out of any of my expressions.
Okay.
For example, High Time Spirits in Costa Mesa. Yeah, in Orange County. My repo, I have a customer that buys a case a week.
Oh, wow.
A case?
A case a week, so that's 6 bottles a week.
From them?
From them, yes,
Yeah.
but of the Reposado specifically. So it has its fans.
Well, welcome back. We're just talking about what we're pouring up here. We've got your Repo 40,
Yep.
and you were just saying your most popular expression.
Absolutely. I think it's an excellent product. It definitely has its fans across the country, and I even know customers that buy it by the case. So
Oh, wow.
it's a special product.
And is it talk about the aging process, because I know everybody ages it a
Yes,
little bit
no, of
differently,
course. These are actually using wild turkey barrels, so something a little bit unique in that
Okay.
respect. We spot proof or spot check exactly the aging, so that's why I give a range. This is 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
But it's an excellent product. It's very balanced. You will taste some of that barrel, a little bit of that natural sweetness from the barrel, but the agave notes will still come through.
Okay.
So that was our goal for this.
I'm excited to taste it because I'm still, getting the aromas and the flavors from the Blanco, which is nice and complex
Sure.
still. So, I'm excited to go to this. And you mentioned this is also from the Sebastian's
Yes.
hands of
Yes,
production.
exactly. That was the last batch of Sebastian, which, like I said, has its fans across the country.
Oh, that's a good.
What I like about the repos and stuff is you get the influence of the barrel, but just coming right off of the Blanco, you definitely get the presence and the essence of what the Blanco is and the agave essence in the spirit, and that was forward
Sure.
to me in the repo.
It's an-
And I get the influence of the barrel, but didn't lose sight.
No,
of
no,
what was
it's a
in-
natural evolution is the way I would describe it, from the barrel to perfect balance, 6 to 8 months. So I think that's why it had so many fans.
Yeah. Well, and we were talking earlier, but with the state of everything going on in the industry and things slowing down, what are you guys doing as far as events,
Sure.
being out in the community,
I like to be out as much in front of a camera to tell the story as much as we can, and even get to know our fans. We recently went to the iHeart Agave Festival and had an amazing time connecting with everyone.
Oh, amazing.
And I try to attend as many events as I can across the country. Thankfully, we're in about 30 plus states with Cuatro Copas, so we're very proud to have fans everywhere. But it gets sometimes a little tough.
A lot of travel.
What
Yeah.
does the reach look like for the brand? And I know there's a lot of brand recognition with it. So going to events, people coming and knowing the brand and where to find it. So is it easily accessible to get your hands on Cuatro Copas,
Sure.
different restaurants on and off premise? I
Sure.
guess,
We've been mainly an off-premise focused brand, but it's had such a long history. At some point, I'm sure most restaurants, especially here in California, have either dabbled with it or are somewhat familiar with it. But yeah, we've been off-premise focused for some time. And yeah, like I said, we try to keep pushing as much as we can. I always say we're everywhere, nowhere, which is kind of a unique juxtaposition to have.
So if someone's here like in Southern California and wants to get their hands on Cuatro Copas, where can they go and expect to find?
Sure. High Times is one of our key partners. They've been a great support to us and somebody that the brand has worked with for many, many years. Total Wine has also been great. I know certain stores will have some expressions and not all. And it gets a little tricky since we have 6 different expressions and soon to be 7 with our extra añejo coming
Well,
up.
let's talk about those expressions. We've got them back
Sure.
there behind the bar. But you were telling us, and I guess you can explain.
Sure.
You've got kind of a unique lineup of expressions.
Absolutely. So we have the Blanco, Repo, and Añejo at 40 proof. But we wanted to, I guess we went a little bit ahead of the trend and created a full line of Blanco, Repo, and Añejo, but at 110 proof, which is the highest you can do in tequila. So we were so confident in our flavor profile, we said, let's ramp it up to the max allowed across the board. So that way we give the control to the consumer, to whoever is enjoying my product, to really be able to steer how proof down they want it. You want it with a big ice cube, you can have it a little bit lower than 55 gradually. Or you can add a little bit of water from the beginning and proof it down to 40 or even 35, whatever you prefer. But you're in the driver's seat whenever you give such a high proof.
That's interesting because I have kind of like 2 questions on the top of my head right now. But right now, as you mentioned that, I've been reading a little bit up on proofing and understanding how some people drink their spirits in that way. And right now talking about tequila, so is that like a benefit of the high proofs? In, I don't want to say in general, but kind of like either you could put ice in it. I haven't really experimented with proofing where it's like you put a couple drops in, you start to taste the different flavors. How does that
Typically, the high proof is geared towards the connoisseur of tequila. You'll get our bartenders or our big tequila fans that will specifically look for that. And these days, you'll see a lot of Blancos have it, because that's where they say it's the most pure expression of tequila. With us, we gave the customer the chance to really experiment across the board. Like, for example, our añejo, that's a barrel strength. And it's very difficult to get it exactly at 55. That's why you'll find a lot of brands will have it at 52 or 51. But like I said, we have an excellent product, and so we're very confident about that one.
But could I just go back really quick, just to be clear? Is there a difference of what we're talking about here from like a little bit more common day where people are like, I like high proof, I want high strength, right?
Sure.
Which is great. There's a lot of flavors, and it is like a pure essence of the spirit. But what I'm curious to right now, what I was mentioning earlier is, you said a second ago, give our bartenders a chance to experiment and try things, because that's what the proofing is. That's what you have a high proof, and it's like, look, we found a profile that we like closer to 51 or something by proofing down either with ice or with water. So is that what you would comment to what that experimentation is?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you can use the same amount of tequila, for example, in a cocktail, and have that tequila be a little bit more pronounced. So that's where you give that bartender, in this case, the flexibility to choose how they want to highlight the tequila within a complicated cocktail. So it really gives them the options to get as custom as they would like.
Yeah, and that's cool, because it's also approaching it more thoughtfully than just it's high proof. It's like, I like the high proof out that point, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
like,
not just strong for strong's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
It has a little bit more creativity and intentionality behind why we made it the way we made it.
Interesting. That's cool. And then to go back a little bit too, you also mentioned that from the start, you guys were doing high proofs. It's not like you just wanted to, hey, high proofs are in demand right now, let's do high proofs, right?
And the way I describe it is, we did high proofs from the beginning with the second reinvigoration of Cuatro Copas. If we go, we have a historic bottle here that we brought. If you don't mind, I'll show this guy off. Some of our original founders, this is one of the bottles of the late 90s, early 2000s. Historic bottle, Mexican market exclusive at the time. And so it has a unique agave piña inside, which is a really beautiful bottle, hand blown.
Really beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, everything made in Mexico. And our goal was to be able to take this beauty of the product and how do we develop that going forward. So when we took control of the brand about 15 to 16 years ago, we said, well, what's going to make us unique? The original distillery was inoperable. Unfortunately, we really tried to get our hands on it and have that history keep going. It wasn't possible. So we said, okay, let's bring Sebastian. Let's work with some of our original yeast and what have you. And how do we stand out in the market? And that's where the idea for the high proofs came out. So it's been around for 15-ish years, but our idea mainly was with our new importer at that time, Henry Price. Price Imports is somebody who's been a mentor of mine. Henry has just turned 50 years in the industry.
Oh, wow.
He was the first importer of Jägermeister and Tequila Tesoro, for example. So he's been walking with me and my family for many years now, and we're honored to have him as part of our process. But it was actually his idea to say, hey, let's bring out a high proof at 55, something different, something unique. And his portfolio is so curated that I think it was a really unique offering into the market at that time, which we kind of were a little bit ahead of it. These days, it's so popular to have a high proof. But yeah, I had it. With that comes its own challenges, right? You try to convince people, no, high proofs are really unique. Why you share this and that? So yeah, it's been a journey.
I mean, I'm excited to taste this iteration of the Reposado and high proof and really compare the two with that in mind. Now, I think that's something that even I didn't really think of or consider when drinking the high proofs of what proofing was and how to really experiment and go deeper into the spirit and
Sure.
see what that is. Cool.
Oh yeah, and this high proof reposado we're about to explore is also unique. You'll see high proof reposados, but not quite at 55. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's a perfect transition.
Yeah.
We'll be right back, and we'll pour up the high proof repo.
great.
Awesome.
You know, you'll come to find out most tequila producers like to drink Blanco,
Okay.
and as do I.
Yeah.
So I enjoy a good Blanco, but I think our Repo at 40 is also pretty special.
Yeah. Is that just because that's the most like pure expression of the tequila?
Yeah, so you'll always hear, I like the flavor of agave, so that's
Yeah.
where you'll get it.
Yeah.
And with the barrels, you can hide a lot of the flavoring through different kind of charring, and you name it. You can get super experimental with the barrels.
Yeah.
So that's where I think it's harder to make a good Blanco than anything else.
Yeah.
That's why
because
you
you can't hide anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's
And
why
that's what was so good about what we just had. And like right away when I tasted the repo, it spoke. The Blanco was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun to taste
Yeah, that's the
the
high proof.
repo high proof.
Exactly. So yeah, I always say take it. It's a higher proof, so you're gonna feel more alcohol.
Yeah.
So take small sips and what have you. I had a customer at the festival wasn't used to a high proof,
Oh yeah.
and so I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's high. And I even warned her, it's higher proof. It's the highest you can do. And whoa.
Yeah.
It's always fun going to those festivals, and everybody always has some like very high proof in a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
It's always in the plastic models.
Yeah. And you're like, ooh, okay.
It's funny in the little plastic bottle or like a little pachita or something.
Yeah.
And just off topic on the trip, I'm gonna do a hiking trip coming up.
How cool.
But it's like backpacking, so you can't take a lot. But I definitely want to take something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, all right, how much? Like a little shot every night for a couple of days. How much could I? And how much does it weigh and stuff? So like, I'm thinking of my little plastic container.
No,
for
those are all considerations.
Well, we're back. We're just talking about this high proof repo, so I guess we can introduce it officially. Yeah, talk to us about the high proof. We just kind of left off. You guys had started doing these high proofs about 15, 16 years ago.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. So our thinking behind the high proof was to give the customer the ability to customize and have the control. Our Reposado I'd say, is probably our most unique expression out of the range, because people will do a Reposado, but never at this level of proofing. So I'm really curious to see what you guys will interpret based on our last Reposado at 40.
Yeah.
And it's cool because right off, we were just talking about it right now. Even in the last Reposado that we tasted, going from the Blanco 40, I just want to point out that the Cuatro Copas is definitely standing out in the agave flavors and the essence of what the Blanco was. So I'm going to hit this 55 we are?
Yes, 55. It's the highest allowed in tequila. Because I know other spirits you're allowed to go a little bit higher in the proofing. So we try to push the envelope in that respect.
It's
It's
cool.
all,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's interesting because on this one, I'm searching it more.
Sure.
I am noticing the alcohol more in this one, and it's not an unpleasant. Like alcohol. Sometimes you sniff a spirit and like that alcohol hits you. It burns the nose.
Sure.
I'm not getting any like burning here.
Okay.
I get the aroma of alcohol, but
Yeah.
following it up
Sure.
is that Repo and the Blanco is
What you're
following
going to get
it.
with the higher proofing is a little bit more length when you
Yeah.
drink it. So it'll have a little bit more staying power. And I think you'll find that in this Repo as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I jumped ahead and tasted it already.
Cool.
But what I really love is like it's so. I guess you can say drinkable. You know, as a high proof, it doesn't like hit you in the face with that alcohol. It's just like you said, like a longer, a little deeper flavor. But it's still really super agave forward for sure.
Yeah, you still get a little bit of that complexity, and it's still balanced.
Yeah.
But what you lack in aroma with a higher proof, you'll get more in length.
Yeah.
In depth.
Yeah. And I just went for that taste too, and it's definitely packing here,
Sure.
right? So like it is
Yeah.
more full. It is a mouth feel,
Sure.
a lot more sensation in the mouth, and then those flavors are following up. So you're right. It's a longer mouth feel. And yeah, as I'm speaking right now, I'm speaking the aromas out.
And you were saying, just to get back to our conversation, your importer
Sure.
imports a lot of unique spirits and everything. How? And you were saying he kind of like shaped. You were saying he shaped kind of this
Sure.
idea of bringing in high proofs.
Yeah, he has been a pioneer, first importer of Jägermeister, for example. He has German roots. So he has long history in the liquor industry in general. And he wanted to create something unique and something that'll stand out. And a high proof at 55, I think, will do that, especially since we have one across the range.
Yeah.
So we've always tried to, get mentored as much as we can. As I said originally, we're not producers ourselves. We are farmers first. So any kind of advice that we can couple together with our expertise in terms of the quality of the agave and the original source, we will always welcome, and especially from somebody that has so much experience.
And I guess that kind of leads into my next question is you talk about being the first organic tequila and being farmers and why is that so important to you, to your family, to the brand?
Absolutely. Being the first organic tequila carries with it a responsibility towards not just the public, but towards the industry. We carry that as a sign of pride and saying, hey, we were pioneers, and we still consider ourselves pioneers on the day-to-day. This brand has had the highs of highs. I've heard some people call it the Patron before Patron, especially from our early distributors. And then we ended up having a dark period as well. But if there's one thing that our history has been able to teach us is we know how to succeed, and more importantly, we know how to fail and how to avoid that going forward.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the real lineage and history comes in and why that's important. Especially being founded in 1997 and having so many different people involved over the years. Having a constant force over the past 15 years and a family that has roots in the area, I think is something so important to maintaining the history of Cuatro Copas and why we're different going forward.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think you can jump in, but I think, especially in the, landscape that it is today where, it seems like a new brand is popping up every day.
Yes, absolutely.
It is cool to see that there's that history there and the pride in it's not just a marketing term that you like throw on the
No, and I think obviously I speak fluent English. I was raised here in Southern California, but still have very strong roots in Mexico. My father always said he wanted his two sons to learn proper English. So he allowed us to be educated here in the U.S., and hence I am very grateful for that opportunity. Hence, I'm able to explain it a little bit more. My father, it looks like the strong, stereotypical Mexican, where a big mustache and big personality as well. Yeah. But if there's one main takeaway is that we put so much heart and love into this product, then we take such pride in having such a historical aspect within such an industry that is so well renowned.
Sweet. And I was just gonna follow up and continue on the question of the organic certification for those that, because like you mentioned, Jack, not just a marketing term or not just something that's slapped on. Can you explain what it means to be organic certified and why that's important and how that does differentiate in the world of tequila? Because I think a lot of people think, and myself included, would sometimes think like, well, it's organic certified, but it's like an organic product because we assume that like, well, it's agave, water, and yeast, so like it's organic. But if we could elaborate a bit on what that certification is?
So the organic certification is unique in the aspect that we have a third-party agency come in and check. Especially, it focuses and centers around the growing of the plants. So we don't add any pesticides, any fungicides, any accelerants, any chemicals into the agave. That comes at a potential risk of infection for the plant. Sometimes you'll find even certain beetles will climb into the piña and start making holes, and most of the time you won't even notice. So we'll spot check the piñas randomly. We'll, for example, we'll hima one here and then one maybe in the middle of the field and what have you, to make sure the health of the plants stay continuous. But it does carry with it a huge amount of risk, and that's why you won't see a lot of the big producers focus in on the organic nature, because you might end up losing a field due to infection, and that's a huge amount of investment, especially if you've waited 4+ years,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you lose half a field. So we're proud to be pioneers in that respect because we were the first ones willing to take that risk. But I know there's many brands, and I've spoken to many of these other owners that have said, well, we've been making it organic for all these years. We don't think there's much value to saying you're the first organic. And we said, well, no, with all due respect, we love your brand. You have an amazing product, but we were the first ones to say, come in, third-party company, and check.
Yeah.
And we take that with a lot of pride.
Amazing.
Cool. Yeah, that means a lot. I mean, the way you explained it, when you look at that, it's important to put things into perspective and take that conversation there because, I mean, I had that same question myself, but
Sure.
it does make a lot of sense when you start to consider that and consider the scenarios where that takes place. So that's cool. And right now, as we're speaking, it's funny, we're speaking about it. The high proof
Sure.
is high proofing right now. I can like feel it. That mouth feel is still there. And I'm curious, that brings me to another question, kind of taking it back a bit. From today, high proofs and the market that's high proof is in demand or somebody that might be new to high proof. How is that perspective and that market different than when this was first done in like 15, 16 years ago?
Absolutely.
How was the take then when
Sure.
introducing high proof?
No, it's evolved quite a bit. Back in the day, we were focused on specifically the bartender. These days, the consumer's so much more educated. Now you have aficionados all over the country. Now you have these very established tequila clubs, and they demand variety, and that's why the whole small batch movement is really taking off right now. Back when we gave it that second life with the brand, the running notion was create expressions and don't budge from them and create them at volume because if you run out, the accounts are going to drop you. That was our biggest fear. These days, it's all, if you run out, it's great. You missed your chance. If it's collectible, it's changed so drastically. So I'd say the evolution of the high proof has changed along with the market in terms of creating more small batch, creating more transparency and additive-free with that whole buzzword that's been growing.
Yeah.
And something we've been doing from day one. So
Yeah.
I always say it got cool later, but we've always been pioneers in the additive-free side as well. And heck, even the kosher side, which I'd be happy to elaborate more on that uniqueness of being a kosher spirit from the beginning.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I think that's a great segue again to go into what the future is
Sure.
and what the kosher is as well.
Absolutely.
And what that future,
Yeah.
we'll taste the new bottle
Yeah.
coming up next.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys taste it.
Awesome. Cool. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
We've got the añejo.
Yes, that's our new, yet-to-be-released añejo.
Oh, amazing. So a little first taste here.
Absolutely.
Explain the añejo. How long is it aged? What kind of barrel?
Great. So this is going to be the first ever batch. What you guys are tasting are actually samples. The first ever batch we've made with Iliana Partida, who's a great friend, mentor as well. And so this is we wanted to make it all an aged spirit just because of the length it takes. This is an estimate of 20 to 22 months.
Okay.
I'd like to say. These are American oak, and it has really nice complexity from that barrel. So I'm excited for you guys to try it.
Cool. And so now we're going to a new fabrica, right? Hacienda
Yes,
de Oro
this is
en-
known 1522 Hacienda de Oro. We're still in the town of Amatitan, but now it's a new master distiller. When Sebastian was retiring, he said, "Hey, I really recommend this up-and-coming rock star.
Yeah.
That is Iliana Partida." And so you guys would be in great hands with her.
Great.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we chatted with her at Salud Amigos Fest.
Yeah,
so
last
it was
year.
a great conversation with, she was introducing
Absolutely.
tequila amatitense.
Yes.
And so she helped you guys with the...
Yes, yes. Salud.
Salud.
As with our earlier batches, my family has been involved with the agave selection and all that. We really place focus into that. And Iliana helps refine that profile that we're looking for.
As we sip this, and that comment I made is great because you just mentioned how the families go back from the from production and growing the agaves as you
Sure.
mentioned, and for the production back then, and now we're going into moving forward with the new expression.
Yes.
This new tequila. As we taste this, what else can you tell us about what to expect moving forward? The future of Cuatro Copas and
Absolutely. Cuatro Copas future is very exciting. Eventually, we'll come out with So next year, it's our 30th anniversary, which is super exciting.
Damn, 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. It's hard to believe. We're still a small family-owned brand, and we take a lot of pride in that, but we've been around for a while, and not many brands can say that, which we're really proud to say. So we want to have a nod with an extra añejo. We haven't released an extra añejo in some time, just because of how long you have to age it. And we want to do an homage to some of our original bottles, some of our special edition ones. I know the hand-blown aspect is something that we want to really lean into.
Amazing.
So be on the lookout for that. We're very excited for that.
Is there anything you can kind of preview for us on what to look out for?
It'll be one of the rare bottles that I know some of the collectors have really cherished. We're trying to fine-tune that final design, but I know in the past we've even incorporated materials like wrought iron into some of the.
Okay.
So we're trying to finalize exactly what that little nugget will be, but we're very excited. I know the brand will be leaning into the small batch production, being very involved, and we also foresee a future where we'll be incorporating our own family agave from our family estate into future Cuatro Copas releases.
Amazing.
So I think that'll add a really unique, interesting wrinkle where Cuatro Copas has always been a lowland produced tequila, but now we're going to be incorporating our De Anda Orozco family agave into future releases.
Oh, amazing.
Which I think will allow us to help tell that story and that connection and that balance between both Arandas and Amatitan.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So have you guys had a chance to enjoy it quite yet?
I haven't tasted it yet.
I've been sipping on it. Sorry, I jump ahead on these.
So on aroma, I do get caramel notes. I get sweetness. I get like the agave syrup type of sweetness.
Sure.
And
You're gonna get a little bit of that molasses flavor as well, but it has beautiful staying power, which you'll notice. A lot of length in the palate, which is what we were going for.
It's really delicious and not like overly sweet that sometimes you get.
No,
with an
absolutely.
añejo, yeah.
It's beautifully balanced, and it's a very complex añejo, which is a nod to the aging that has been in the barrel. So I think we really hit it out of the park with this one.
Yeah.
And it's also, we don't have unlimited amounts of this, which leaning into that whole small batch movement.
Yeah.
So what we're foreseeing is we'll have a kind of a medallion highlighting one, the limited nature, and two, the year it's produced.
Amazing.
So yeah,
That's
be on
awesome.
the lookout.
I like
it's really
when you just commented not overly sweet. As I was taking that taste, it smelled nice and sweet to me. I mentioned that caramel and the agave sweetness, but on that flavor, it didn't come in overly sweet as you said it, which is cool. I did get like the influence of the barrel in that, which was pleasant. A little bit of like a bitterness of like the char, very light bitterness, which to me was
we
nice
foresee
and
this
yummy
being a
chocolate.
big crowd favorite, especially since a lot of customers do seek that sweetness. But it doesn't come at the cost of quality or transparency. This is still an additive-free product, which is really unique, being that the level of sweetness that we're able to achieve.
Yeah.
And I know that even in the kosher aspect, we're limited in terms of what we can add. There are such a thing as organic additives. I don't know if you guys were aware of that, but you have to also be careful and explain to the public, even if there are organic additives that you can add, we do not ever explore that aspect of it. And being kosher, we're also held to a different standard. Kosher is a really strict regulatory commission that keeps us to a very high level. And so we have the rabbi come in, my tocayo, Rafael Chayo. He's been a great friend of mine. I was actually out there in Brooklyn during Hanukkah with about 35 other rabbis.
Oh, wow.
So it was 35 rabbis and a cowboy.
Cool. I think I saw that on your Instagram. You were sharing the different hats with your cowboy.
Yes, we switched hats. And we have a very special relationship that we've been able to develop with them over the years, being that we were an early pioneer in the kosher spirits, especially the kosher tequila world.
Well, yeah. Let's get into that. Why? What was the what was the thinking, and why did you want to pursue getting a kosher certified?
Sure. The kosher certification is a way for that specific community, the Jewish community, to highlight that we are at a different standard versus just producing in general. So one of the aspects that they require is that you can't age in just any barrel. So if we wanted to come out with a sherry edition or a wine aged tequila, we can't, because it has to be approved and supervised by the rabbi.
Okay.
And it's based on their own kosher laws and kosher traditions. but at the same time, it maintains a certain level of quality and standard. And we wanted to make sure that when we were with Iliana, that same quality that we had before with Sebastian Melendres it carried through, and thankfully it has been.
Yeah.
So we're really grateful for our partnership and relationship as friends more than anything with the kosher and everyone at OK Kosher.
Oh, that's amazing.
And how does that work? Is it every batch gets so every bottle Cuatro Copas is all have the same certifications, organic, kosher?
Yeah, we've been
Okay.
kosher with every bottle batch that we release, and we foresee that for especially the upcoming future, just based on the level of relationship that we've been able to develop with the rabbis, and that's something we're quite proud of, and it's a very special community. Without going into any other aspect of the Jewish community, in terms of the kosher certification, it has brought a level of prestige and a quality standard that we really are proud to say we abide by.
I mean, you keep saying the word, and it comes through. I think in the quality of the product is the pride that you have, and your family has in this product, and
Sure.
and yeah, I think it comes across in every bottle we've had, and you as well. So.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we try, like I said, we're a small family-owned business. We take a lot of pride with being as hands-on as possible. I mean, to the point where you'll find me or my brother, heck, even my dad participated in one of the festivals. So we try to be involved as closely as possible and not have outsourced that to other people, because nobody can tell the story just the way we can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
This is fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for having a great conversation and sharing some amazing expressions of your tequila.
I'm honored to be able to share the time with you guys. Thank you very much to go down memory lane, to learn a little bit about the history.
Yeah.
And don't forget, first organic tequila, something a little bit different and something a little bit historical. So thank you guys for the time and for sharing my family's love.
Of course. Yeah, it was delicious. And before we leave, sorry, I just want to get you a chance. This is coming out.
We're working on the labels right now to finalizing it, but give me, 2 to 3 months. Hopefully it should hit the markets by then.
Amazing.
You know how there's always this red tape when you're trying to cross. But yes, about 2 to 3 months, be on the lookout.
So
and
the
then,
summer.
Yes, summer to fall is what
Summer
I
to
would say.
fall.
And then for next year, that special extra añejo release definitely will perk up some ears.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks so much, and we'll catch you guys next time, yeah?
Yeah. Thank you very much, amigos. And thank you to you guys as well.
Thank you.
Excellent. Cheers.
Salud.
Salud.